Hello and welcome to WKNI TV 25. Good news coming in county, and once again we have our friends here from the Andalusia Area Humane Society, and we've got somebody that just decided to get up and get going, but that's Peanut, and over there we have Cloud. We want to welcome Deborah and
Jim.
I know it's Jim. I just wanted to make sure. I remembered 4 names today. Peanut, Cloud, Deborah, and Jim. So we're on a good roll here. But a little feisty. Peanut's a little bit on the anxious side over there, but they're looking for homes.
They're doing good. They're doing good. I think as a rule, these are usually pretty feisty little dogs in the first place. Both Chihuahua mixes. And both of them are available and adoptable at the Andalusia Animal Shelter right now. They're both male, and you want me to tell Peanut's story?
Yeah.
What we know about Peanut is that his owner actually had contacted someone to dog sit for a time for her, and evidently she just never came back for Peanut. So Peanut's at the shelter, and the lady that was dog sitting couldn't keep him, but I believe he'll find a home pretty easily. And he has not been neutered yet, but anyone that does adopt Peanut, the adoption fee will take care of the neuter of him being neutered before he goes home. And this is Cloud,
who's just loving the attention.
And Cloud was just a surrender at the shelter. Somebody just decided either they couldn't keep him anymore, or we don't know. But he's just as sweet as he can be, and we think he's probably in the range of about 2 years old. He also has not been neutered, but the adoption fee would cover his neuter surgery, and we're thinking that Peanut here is probably in about the 5 to 6 year old range.
And he's excited because he's not. They're at the shelter, so they're not going to be best friends or how do you call it, roommates.
We've got 2 unneutered males here today.
Not neutered males. That's so
Peanut's showing a little interest in the other guy over there, saying I'm the boss.
They're trying to face off.
Yeah, and he's precious, and I had Peanut over here a little while ago on my lap, and he will calm down, and he's loving, but right now Cloud's got his attention over there because that's just the way males are.
Look at him. You move first. No, you move first. No, you move first.
Yeah, Cloud is just.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. But again, these are available at the. But you know what they're not doing?
Animal Shelter, and they have a lot of great dogs out there right now, and available for adoption. We just picked these 2 up, and they've got some beautiful dogs there, and some young dogs and older dogs, and a bloodhound that was brought in this morning that's just gorgeous.
And these guys, what they're not doing is barking.
Right.
Right. Now, folks, come on, mine will sit there and bark at each other. So that's a good start.
These are 2 good dogs. Yeah, they really are.
I'll tell you, that Cloud over there is just loving, and Peanut over here, he's still got that I am the boss attitude. And but that's okay, because once he gets all the loving and attention, he'll be just fine. But all right, and these are at the animal shelter right now. They contact the animal shelter. Oh, there goes your rings or earring. But they're at the animal shelter right now, and all they have to do is go by there and
they're open from 9 to 4, Monday through Friday. And I always recommend the mornings can be a little hectic around because it's feeding time and cleaning time and all that. But anybody that's interested, usually in the afternoon is a good time to go over and take a look and see what's there and find the dog of your dreams. We had. Can I talk a little bit about the Adopt-a-thon?
Oh yes, please.
The Shelter Adopt-a-thon, the annual Shelter Adopt-a-thon. December the 21st. We had an incredible turnout. We had Santa Claus. We had a young man that was there taking really professional pictures. A lot of folks came by with their own pets for pictures, and we literally when we finished that day, there was only one adoptable dog left at the
Wow.
shelter.
Isn't
At
that
the shelter.
That is
awesome?
amazing.
He found a home about 2 days later, I think. Two
Wow.
or 3 days later, somebody came.
What,
for
11
him.
went out the door that
There
day?
were 11 adoptions.
That's amazing.
And there were several of the dogs that were there were actually not available for adoption that day. But everybody that was available for adoption, including some cats and dogs, and it was just an incredible day of finding wonderful homes for animals that just were at the shelter and for whatever reason had found their way there.
Well, these guys certainly need to find a home. We were talking off camera before we started about some of the success just this show has brought to adoptions.
Yes.
And folks, I'm telling you, the Basset Hound that was here a while back, he got adopted pretty quickly after.
Bessie
yeah.
the Basset was adopted by a family in Alabama, and we used the video and we put it on our Facebook page, and Kristen picked it up on the shelter's Facebook page, and they saw it, and I was there the day the guy drove in to pick it up. It was a surprise for their children. They had always wanted
Wow.
a Basset, and it was just a wonderful.
Bessie was just awesome, just laid there. I mean, that's what a Basset's supposed to do, right? But,
Pretty amazing that it got picked up in somebody in North Alabama.
in North Alabama, from a little TV station in Andalusia. Yeah.
But Vicki didn't come here, but Cy and Willie are adopted. Grayson was adopted.
Wow.
Sheba has been adopted. Everybody we've had on the show have been adopted.
How about Willie and
Willie and Cy.
Simon? Are
Willie
they
and Cy.
adopted?
Yes, they are. Willie and Cy are adopted.
Teresa.
We
Those were
we are
wonderful.
officially failed fosters now.
Oh, there's 2 for you to take home.
Well, we have Willie and Cy.
Oh, you adopted them. Oh, okay. There you go.
We
So
made-
they can come back.
Yeah, we made the decision at the end of the year.
You guys are too
It was-
attached to those
It was
guys.
our Christmas present to ourselves, actually. Willie has a place, he's probably going to need some shoulder surgery in the near future. It's something that happens to bigger dogs. They grow really fast, and it's a potential surgical thing. And we just had to make the decision that it's the only home they've ever known.
Right.
And so we love them, so we just decided, okay, we would
Well,
let them be part of our
they
family.
have got the bestest of homes that they could have found, and I'm glad because I fell in love with those
Yeah.
two. Those
That's
two are
some good
just totally
dogs.
awesome.
Well, they've got a great story. Their little story is just, they were just little neighborhood strays that, but they've come a long way.
Peanut, what's the matter, buddy?
All right.
They're active. Okay,
So
so
we got 2 little fawns in our.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. They look like little baby deers, but put antlers on them and they'll go quickly. But anyhow, what's going on with the Humane Society here in the area? You still doing your weekly things at the? I guess it's the building over there on.
We
Pearl?
are. We have some work going on in our back still. Unfortunately we didn't get the work finished during the dry period, during the in October and November when it was dry. And so we got caught by the rainy season, and so we've still got some work to do in the back there. And we're not currently having Saturday adoptions, but we are going to be there on Saturdays from 10 to 2 during the Smithsonian exhibit. We had done a little exhibit for the way we worked.
Right.
And so we're open. We're going to be there from 10 to 2 if anybody wants to come by and
Wonderful.
visit. But we're just not going to have animals there. And we had hoped to have some animals there, but we're just not going to have animals
That's
there.
pretty neat, that Smithsonian thing
Yeah.
going on. We went to the chamber over here and some interesting stuff. All right, well, tell us a little about what it takes to get involved with the Andalusia Area Humane Society. If there's people that want to join up, how do we do that? What I say is join as
We
members.
are a all-volunteer 501c3, and membership is very inexpensive. We're always looking for new members. We have a meeting tonight at our building, and anybody's welcome to attend. The membership, we're always looking for people to become members, especially members that want to pitch in and volunteer for, tasks on a weekly basis, once a week, or an hour a week, or, 5 days a week, whatever. We always need help. And so we're growing. We're a growing organization. And with the new building, we're hoping to reach out to the community more with some events at our building that will help bring the animal community together. And it's just a simple matter of joining and becoming a member. And as friends of the shelter, if anybody wants to volunteer and help out at the shelter with things that to be done over there, they can become a member of the Humane Society. And we keep a list of folks that want to help at the shelter too.
That's kind of neat, because working hand in hand with the local shelter,
Yes.
It makes the bottom line is getting homes and making sure animals are taken care of. That's the main objective.
Doing follow-up. We need people that will do some follow-up, once you're seeing the animals in their new homes and doing home visits and making sure that everything's working out with new owners and stuff too.
Now, when they adopt, do they give up, or do the adoptees have to agree to allowing home visits and revisits and checks and things like
Not
that?
so much revisits, but a lot of times, yes. So an initial home visit will be required. It just depends on, we're in a small community, and Kristen and Missy at the shelter have been doing this for so long now. They know a lot of people in the community. And so, is it gone? How's that? Okay. All right. But yes.
So anyway.
We're
Microphone fell
always looking for people that are, to do a home visit. Ideally, the thing to do would be to be able to deliver the animals to the home and see, it's always good to see the interaction between the new pets. And I would recommend to people that are interested in adopting a pet to bring everyone to meet the pet.
Everyone. That's including everyone. I mean, we're talking the whole family.
The family.
It's important. Whoever's going to be in that home with that pet needs to be exposed to it and see how it's going to work out.
And matching pets to the right situation is
Is there any
important.
truth about people that look like their dogs?
I think so.
Really?
I think so. I
don't
think
look
there's-
like little man.
I think there's but the personalities of the dogs and the individuals
Yeah.
probably.
Dee
if they
is definitely my
match
wife's dog.
And you're definitely a little man's dog.
I'm definitely little man's dog. Thank you. Jim, you have been awful quiet over there. You said let her do all the talking, but your microphone's gone too. So we'll just they've got the active pets going on over there. So
settle down a little bit.
that'll work. But these guys are available for adoption at the shelter here in Andalusia, over by the old fairgrounds, on, what is that, River Falls Road?
Yes.
On
Okay.
Coliseum Street.
The old Coliseum Street.
And there's something I would like to address maybe and mention, is that people in the community, when they find pets, I had a lady yesterday that came by the Humane Society that had found a pet, and she was, put it on Facebook or doing this. They really do need to go to the shelter, because that's where people will look first. They'll, especially if you're within the city, in the city of Andalusia, the first thing they're going to think is to check with the shelter to see if it's been turned in. And they always post new animals on their Facebook page. But if you find one, keeping it and not letting, and just trying to, do your own little thing, may or may not get that animal back to its owner.
Well, it's like what we did here just about a month or so back, where we had that little Chihuahua that was crippled. And, it touched my heart. It was over at Dr. Drumhiller's office, and they were looking for somebody to come take us. She can't, keep up with all. That woman has been an angel to animals and pets in this area. I remember when she would have animals that normally would be destroyed, just walking around the clinic, as her own pets. But anyhow, she had that one little Chihuahua there, and it was crippled up. They were looking for somebody, and I said, man, don't give that thing away. And I went and done a piece on it.
Yep.
And that dog was, that baby, his parents came and picked her up that weekend. In fact, it happened to be a local business person in this community that it was their dog. And it had gotten out, and they were certainly glad to be reunited with it. But that's an unusual situation. We can't put all the lost pets and everything on WKNI, although we don't mind doing it. But when we get a picture or something like that, we'll put it up there. But the main thing is that I know if my little one came up missing, God forbid, the first place I'm going to call is the animal shelter. And they all need to be kind of filtered over there. Well, I don't want to do that because they destroy the animals.
Well, but that's just not true.
That's why I said, but I wanted to say it like that because that's what people say.
Yeah.
They don't say, oh, well, gee, they love all the dogs. They say, oh, no, they kill the dogs over there and the cats and everything. Go ahead, I'll let you
They do
finish.
euthanize. There's no question about it. But it's a process, and it's not something that they go through the front door and immediately put
Right.
it back and are euthanized. They're serving the county and the city. The number of animals that come into the shelter is just kind of unbelievable
Well, it's not unbelievable to me and Teresa. We know that.
and they come in all different kinds of conditions, and there's just some that have never had a home. There's the aggression, and anyway, it's
if they're adoptable,
If they're healthy and adoptable.
and they're healthy animals, they will do everything they
Absolutely.
can to get them in forever home. I know that. I know the shelter.
and we are working with them
That's
every
right.
day to try to increase those adoption opportunities, to find more and more homes for them. And rescues, they work with a lot of rescues.
There's a lot of foster homes out there that are taking these in. Now that you mentioned rescues, let's go ahead and ask this. I see on social pages all the time people posting up that they're a rescue and they're this and they're that, and they're taking. Now, I'll say this, okay, so that way I don't get you incriminated by saying it, but I'll say this, okay, that there are some rescue folks out there that aren't really what they say they are, and they get animals and they resell them, and they're worse than some of the things that are available.
I think it's no different than any other profession or anything else. There's people that are in it that are good, and there's people in it that are bad. And there's some that are just kind of halfway, and there are people, unfortunately, that do get involved in rescue for the wrong reasons.
Well,
But
what's the best
if
way to tell one that's legitimate?
If they've gone to the trouble of doing the paperwork, paying the filing fees, and gotten themselves designated as a 501c3 nonprofit, there are some federal guidelines that have to be followed, and one of those is transparency and not commingling funds. If you're raising money for things, you have to be transparent about the money, where it comes in, how it's spent, and anyone in a legitimate rescue should be willing to be able to show that and open the doors to anybody that wants to come through and take a look. And that's, as far
And they
as I
should
know,
have
that's
a place to keep the animals, not, I heard of an incident that happened here a while back where there was no room in in this rescue place, and they had the animals chained and pinned up, and
That's not rescue.
That's a torture to
That's not
the
rescue.
animals.
If you can't provide better than, it's we could talk about this for forever. And,
And I'm not implicating anybody. I'm just saying that you've got. I want to make sure you folks out there know that if somebody's legitimately in this, it's not because they're legitimate on a social page that they're friends or whatever. There is a process to go through, and that makes, if they're accountable for what they're doing. I got to say it. There's one that I know that was selling dogs to the pit bull thing. There was a big bust on that.
Yeah.
Okay, and I got that information through the grapevine of the law enforcement agencies that part of these rescues were involved in the pit bulls, and that's horrifying. When today I read on the news about the social page of a picture of a little puppy being hung in the ceiling. Okay, and that's sickening. And there's people out there that have no other interest.
And the fine for that is not nearly enough.
$500 bond.
The fine for that is not nearly enough.
That should be the $500,000 bond. That's a life that they're messing with. But I'm sorry, I've gone on Eddie rant.
I would recommend people to work with their local groups that are within driving distance of where they are. If you get active with local rescues, and if you want to be involved, then that's a good way to get involved. I don't know of any rescue that's not going to be open to having somebody else help them.
They've chilled.
When they, so if that's a good thing to do, is if you work locally with people, and then you just have to build a network of trust that.
Veterinarians, okay, they will be a good source of information of where to go.
Absolutely.
And because a veterinarian should not, okay, and the ones I know would not associate themselves with an organization or somebody that says they're an organization that's not legitimate. And they take care of these animals. A veterinarian's in the business for the reason that they love animals, not because they've got to have a passion. Do you know the story about veterinarians? Do you know that medical doctors, a lot of them, have flunked out of veterinary school? Right, Teresa?
That they're actually
They veterinarian.
It's harder to become a veterinarian
than it is to be a doctor, because there's only two, or one species, a human species, and two genders, male and female. Okay, unless you go to California, then you got whatever. But I didn't say that. But the veterinarian has so many species to go through and be proficient in. They've got snakes, birds, fish, okay, dogs, cats, horses, elephants, giraffes, and all of the.
Think about it that way.
But it's true, and that's a correct fact, because Dr. Aker, who was a very well-known veterinarian that my wife used to work for in Florida, came to me one day and we were talking about it, and I said, man, I can't remember how we got on it, but I said, man, I guess I'd rather be a doctor. And he goes, well, most doctors tried to be veterinarians at one time. And so, with that being said, and you think about it, it says a lot. For being a veterinarian, it takes a lot. And I want to give a special hat off to the local vets here in the community. Dr. Drumhiller is our personal veterinarian, but there's Toby over here,
Dr. Jones,
Dr. Jones. They're all good veterinarians. They are not here to hurt the animals. They're here to love them, and they're here to take care of them. Yes, it's a business, but at the same time, they will not mistreat an animal.
But they're also all very much involved in the community.
Absolutely.
And
every one of those that we just mentioned are involved heavily in the organization.
It's their home. This is their home.
That's right.
And they've just been incredible. We're very lucky to have the vets that we have here in Covington County, I believe.
And they work with us so well on the spay neuter program.
They
really
believe
do.
in it. They believe
Folks,
in
he
it.
talks.
There will be those that say, when Deborah gives him a chance.
She's just better.
Well, you guys are totally awesome. Folks, these two need a home. Cloud over
This
here,
is Cloud.
and then Peanut
And
right
Peanut.
here. And he's like, leave me alone, I'm comfortable now, I'm sitting still. But you've got Peanut and Cloud. They both need homes. They're Chihuahua mixes. To me and Teresa, they look like Min Pin Chihuahuas, something in that nature. Maybe a little bit of rat or Jack in them. It could be either one. And because I know I got one like that that's black and white.
That one's a jumping bean there.
That's
must have Jack Russell
That's
in it.
Jack in him, because that's my little man. And, well, he's slowed down now. He's, 13, 14 years old. And, but he's slowing down a little bit. But these guys need a home.
Well, we think
And-
Cloud is about 2, and this one's probably, 5 or 6.
And they're well, folks, we're putting them on a set, trying to hold them still and everything. They do calm down, as you can see, and they're loving animals. I've had both of them in my lap, and if they can tolerate Eddie, they'll tolerate anybody.
say something?
Absolutely.
We just met him this morning.
Is that right?
Yeah, we
Never
just
seen
picked-
him before?
Never seen him before. Picked him up this morning at the shelter.
Wow.
We just met him this morning. So that's just to show you just how easily they are adjust. Yeah.
Well, folks, they're available. Please find them a home. The adoption fee, you heard, is going to go toward the neuter. So you're not going to lose anything by adopting them. You're going to get a loved one, and you're going to get a safely neutered one, and that's a good thing. And so it's a forever friend of the family that you can go over and get today.
Don't shop, adopt.
I like that. Don't shop, adopt. But
That's the shelter's motto.
Jim, Deborah, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
for having us.
You guys are awesome. Next Tuesday, you're going to be out of pocket, but the following Tuesday, we'll have you
We'll
here.
be
And-
right back.
And
We'll be
Saturday, you're going to be over here.
We'll be there Saturday from 10 to 2. If anybody wants to stop by and see our little contribution to the way we worked, Smithsonian exhibit.
Looking forward to it. Y'all have a blessed day. Thank you again. Tell the ladies over at the animal shelter we appreciate what they do. Really
Will do.
do.
Will do.
It takes a big heart to do
We
that.
appreciate them too. They're just incredible.
They want a home, folks. God bless y'all. Thank you. Remember, folks, keep it real. Keep God in it. God bless you.